Alright guys, welcome back to the channel, Ragaline. Today we are working on this boat for a customer. Got a few holes we got to weld up in it. You see there, another one there, crack here, little crack here, another little spot. When we flip this thing back over, I'll show you. It's like the seam where they welded the benches in. They had this kind of rubbery patch here in all these different places. Now I'm not sure exactly where all the holes are in it. What I'm showing you so far is where I've removed the rubber patches so far, and you can see every one that I've removed so far has had a hole under it. So not really ideal way to fix it. I guess they just kind of smeared some liquid rubber over it. So what we're having to do is heat it up with the torch and then scrape it all back. Then I'll have to clean it up with the actual wheel on the grinder, and in which case I think we'll be ready to weld it. We're gonna have to try our best to clean both sides, inside and the outside bottom here, really good. Otherwise it's going to be pulling a lot of trash when we go to welding. So that's where we're at. That's what we're doing. I'm going to keep cleaning the rubber off. Let's get to it. All right, today we got Reagan helping us. She's going to attempt to scrape some rubber after I heat it up. Let's see how this goes. All right, so we're going to demonstrate here. Got the MAP gas torch. Turn it on. Light it. You see it start boiling, or not really boiling. You see it start bubbling and turning white, and lifting from the boat. Ray, go ahead and see if you can scrape it. So don't use the point. Do it like this. Oh. And then just kind of work it up under there like that. Try to push some pressure down on the blade. So like that. Okay. As you're pushing up. We go in and just wiggle it back and forth like that. And then once you get a piece, just kind of scrape it off to the side and go back and scrape some more. Alright, and I'm going to heat this edge right here. I'm going to try it again on the edges of it. Like that. So let me show you how if you just take it and you just kind of. So much smarter than what I was doing. Alright, so that's pretty good for that one. Now I'm going to heat the next one and you can do it again. And that is why we're pulling it off, because there goes another hole. Pretty big one.
They really didn't know that I wouldn't just fix this.
Well, it worked for a little while, I guess, but if you don't have a way to weld it, they just did what they could.
There's no hole.
Another thing you see under here, if you guys are noticing, is like some Bondo they put underneath the rubber to try to smooth it out some. So we got all those done over there. We got to do the same thing back here on the back edges, and we got a couple more spots here, you know, in the middle right here.
Scrape this.
You got to work this thing kind of around the corner, and you use whatever parts of it and angles you got to try to get it to work. We do.
Not the one that's on the boat. This one's a weird one to do.
So your point is going to try to dig. So, like that.
There's a hole. Surprise, surprise.
Another hole there. Good. Oh
Gosh. Are you making it bigger or?
It don't matter because when I go to weld it, like yeah, technically it's getting bigger, but when I go to weld it, I got to have all that trash out of there or it ain't gonna work. That's why we're cleaning all this stuff off of it now, so I can actually hit it with the grinder. So yeah, big hole there. Glad we pulled that one back. See how I did that though? Just kind of work it down the ridge and down the ridge.
I thought it was so much better than me.
I'm just strong. Like I got a lot more pressure behind it and experience. Like I know how to put the right amount of pressure on the tool to make it where it'll kind of go under that stuff, but not like trying to dig into the metal. Because if it's trying to dig into the metal, it won't go anywhere. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that might be something. Yeah, there's a hole there. I gotta, yeah, because whatever's there, like that was just in there, that was really Bondo that was stuck. It wasn't metal. But I gotta get all that out of the hole so I can actually weld the hole. Alright, take you through and show you what we ended up with. Got quite a few issues here that's going to take a bit to get straight. Definitely been a rough life so far for this little boat, but we're going to get ready to breathe some new life back into it. Just a bunch of little places along the seams of these seats. They're gonna have to be fixed. But like I said, we can get them. Just gonna take a little bit of work. So that's where we're at with it. We're waiting on some 3/32 filler wire. And we're gonna get ready to start running this thing, see if we can get this old boat back into shape. All right, so the next step here, we're gonna take and get a little bit of cleaner and just go wipe over these weld spots. All right, and now we'll get to welding. Alright guys, so we got everything welded up for the first pass and ground back smooth. It turned out to actually be 20 holes, and we got a couple of hairline cracks after we ground it back smooth. Kind of expected it. We're gonna go back now and weld up the small cracks here and there, and yep, we'll be in good shape. So that's where we're at. We'll keep on going. All right guys, so not exactly the vision that we had going into this thing. This boat was supposed to have just like a couple of cracks in it, and it needed very little, you know, just 2 or 3 spots at the most that needed work. And turns out we had 20 holes or cracks that we could find total. Hopefully there's no more lingering, but 20 that we found that needed to be repaired. Everything across the back was corroded out. I had to fill it and reshape it. These spots here, intention was I was going to grind them back flat, okay? But the metal that this boat is made out of is super thin, and really old and dirty, just super thin stuff. So every time we would grind it back out, it would want to get stress cracks back in it, kind of close to where it was cracked before. So in an attempt to have that not be a problem going forward, talked with the customer, we decided that best bet moving forward would be to leave the welds a little pronounced. I didn't want to leave them full. I wanted to knock the tops off at least, because that way I could see if there was any kind of pinholes or anything in them. Everything looks good that way. I think we've got everything sealed up, you know, nice and tight, where he's not going to have any issues with it leaking out in the water. I know he's also going to put that glove it coating on for boats. So I think by the time everything gets sealed up with the glove it, I don't think he'll have any problems with it. Hopefully, I know the part right here where we have these lines of cracks that developed to start with, it's just where the boat was made. They welded the benches in for the floor, to the floor, and with the boat, you know, flexing and stuff over time, the aluminum just doesn't like it. It's going to eventually crack where you have anything like that welded to the floor, especially where you're sitting on it. You're up and down the boats, you know, you're riding on it, you're bouncing on it. Yeah, it's just probably not the greatest design, but anyway, I just wanted to give you guys the update here. That's where we're at. We got to flip it over, get it set back on the trailer, and we should be in good shape here. Customer's gonna come pick it up probably today. I want to make sure on the inside when I flip it back over, I think there was one spot back here towards the back that I had to come back and I think it was this one right here. I had to redo that because I found the porosity came up in a little further. Like I had it all back here fine, but it turned out it was up in here too. So anyway, had to fix that. So flip it back over. I'll make sure we're good on the top side there, and then we're gonna send it down the road. With that said, guys, I appreciate y'all following along with the video. If you enjoyed it or found it interesting, please leave us a like down below. Go ahead and subscribe to the channel so you can follow us along in future content coming up. And we appreciate you sticking around for the ride. If you're interested in supporting the channel at all, we've got merchandise up on the site. I'll link down below to it in the description. You can pick up you a hat, t-shirt, or hoodie or something of that nature. It really helps the channel out. That's probably the best way we have right now to support it. Again, we appreciate y'all. We'll catch you on the next one. Thanks and God bless.